This man needs no introduction. I personally just woke up in the morning and I had to thank God. I don't know, but today seems kind of odd. Let's say hello, everyone. Give it up to O'Shea Jackson Sr., AKA Ice freaking Cube. Yeah. What's up, my man? Thank you so much. Look at this. Living legend right here with us. The founder of Big3. It's so great to have you here, my man. Thank you.
Great to be here.
Yo, I'm boys with your son, Junior, because I'm a big pro wrestling guy. He's a big pro wrestling guy, so he was on my show. But to have you here is a really big deal. So thank you so much. Is Junior in the house today?
He's at the hotel right now.
He's at the hotel?
Yeah,
he's on here?
He's at the hotel. I guess he got his own things to do around here, so.
Fair enough.
He wasn't hanging with me today.
Well, you're doing big things, and by the way, Big3 is killing it. And,
thank you.
And it's actually apropos that we're here today because we focus on fighting, on combat sports. And just last week, you guys had a little scrap.
Yeah, we had a little scuffle, you know. I love it, you know, in a way, you know, because it's all about the competition. Of course, we don't want our guys fighting on TV, but we do want them to be passionate. We do want them to play to win. And we don't want them to take no shit up there, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's what sports is missing right now is, especially basketball, is little mano a mano in your face. Trash talking never hurt nobody.
There's too many friends in basketball. Like when I
grew up,
too many
friends,
right?
Man.
90s basketball, Knicks, Bulls. Those guys were friends like behind the scenes, but when they got on the court, they were fighting. Oakley was fighting Jordan.
Yeah. I mean, they really wanted to win. I think when it comes to fans, you know, we don't want to see friends play. We want to see enemies play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We want guys to go at it because that's what it's all about. It's all about the competition.
So who won that fight, by the way? Lance Stevenson or Dwight Howard? Did you guys see this? Dwight Howard and Lance Stevenson.
You know what? Dwight got skills, you know what I mean? He was able to get him. I think he was trying to toss him. He couldn't really toss him because Lance, you know, he had his a heavy base on him. So they end up tumbling into the stands, and then I lost sight of who was really winning after that. So I'm gonna have to give it to Dwight because he was able to
I agree.
Kind of yoke him up a little bit.
I agree. By the way, are there any, like, how do you feel about it? Fines, suspensions?
No fines, no suspensions.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that.
You know, we looked at it and they got throughout the game, so that's punishment enough. Like, they already got punished for that game. Why should we punish them again for the next game or take money from them? You know, no punches thrown, a little bit of hugging, a little bit of kissing.
I like it.
No need for fines, you know. Not at all, no.
It's crazy, man. You see now, they'll call flagrant fouls on, like, taps. Stuff that Bill Laimbeer was doing to Michael Jordan, he would have gotten suspended 35 games this year.
Yeah, you know, I think that's what people love about the Big Three. We playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. And nobody likes to see ticky-tack fouls. The players don't like to play like that. They want to play hard. They want to bang. They want to get physical. So why not let them play the way they naturally want to play and not try to police them, not try to police their personalities? Let them be themselves, play the game to the highest level, and get the edge, you know? Sometimes that gives you the edge when you could trash talk a little bit, you know?
I want to pitch you an idea. I was thinking about how we could take the Big Three to the next level.
All right, I'm with that.
And I want you to succeed. I'm a fan. I'm a huge basketball fan, and I love seeing the older guys get this opportunity to kind of go out on their own terms and have fun.
Yeah.
So Big Three, in case you don't know, is 3-on-3, right? You have all these legends who go toe-to-toe in the summertime. 8th season, right? This is your 8th season?
8th season, yeah.
You guys are killing it. You know, in the Olympic Games, there's a 3-on-3 basketball tournament, right?
Yeah, we've been trying to get our athletes in that.
You guys got to get there. Who wouldn't want to see Dwight, like the best 3 guys from the Big Three, take on the rest of the world? They represent Team USA. Because I was at the
call
Olympics.
Adam Silver.
Yo,
Shit.
why, he's not letting you?
Nah, call Mark Tatum.
Why are they hating?
Gotta ask them. You know, we got the best 3-on-3 athletes in the world. It's not even close. It's not even close.
Oh, yeah.
So we need to have our athletes in the Olympics representing, bringing the gold back to America. You know, seeing the gold go to these other countries is kind of retarded when we know we got the fucking players. You know, we got the players to win the gold. So they should use our players,
Yes.
man, and stop playing these politics.
It would be so great. I was at the Olympics last year. I think the gold medal game was France, Lithuania. You put in some of your best 3 guys. It would be great for the league, great for the sport, and they'll be able to hang with them.
Our worst 3 guys can handle
Okay.
those dudes. You know what I mean? We got the best players in the world.
Yes.
You know, when it comes to 3-on-3. We got the best league in the world when it comes to 3-on-3. So why not? They do it with the NBA. They let the NBA players represent and bring home the gold. Why not let the Big 3 players represent the United States and bring home the gold?
Does the NBA give you trouble? Are they keeping their distance from you?
Yeah,
What's going
you know,
on there?
They hating a little bit.
Why?
But not the players.
No, the
The
brass.
players love us. The owners love us. The GMs love us. The coaches love us. Just the front office. You know, the front office got a problem
Why
with
is
the
that?
Big 3. Man, you know, I guess we doing it too good. We changing the game. We doing what we supposed to do. You know, they didn't want to be a part of it. So, you know, I can't. It don't make Crazy Man sense if you ask me, you know. And so when it don't make Crazy Man sense, I don't try to figure it out myself. So I don't know.
Do you still love doing it? Do you still? It's a grind, right? It's a lot of work, and you've got a lot going on.
I still love it. You know, it's been a lot of work to get the Big 3 to season 8, but I love it. You know, it's been my most fulfilling project in entertainment has been the Big 3.
Well, I remember back in 2017, you had the T-Mobile Arena booked on the same day as Mayweather-McGregor.
Yeah.
You had it first.
Yeah, we had it first.
And they tried. What happened? What ended up happening? They tried to like elbow you guys out, right?
Well, yeah, they booked it on the same day as we booked our shit, and we was like, yo, you know, they was cool about it though. They was like, can we work something out? And we ended up working something out.
What happened?
Well, they cashed us out a little bit,
All right.
but you know, we did a co-promotion with Dana White, the UFC.
Okay.
You know, Mayweather. They did a co-promotion with the Big 3. They came to our championship game that was earlier in the day. We moved the event so they can have the arena, and you know, we made a great business decision.
Okay. Very smart. By the way, I follow you on social media. A couple of days ago, did someone in TSA steal your iPad? What happened?
Well, yeah, I put my my carry-on got accidentally put under the plane.
Okay.
So when I went into it to look, you know, when it came through baggage claim, my shit wasn't in there, you know, and I was like, whoa. So, you know, I went to 10 because I need that.
Yes.
I need that iPad, you know what I mean? So I went to 10, and they came up with it.
Who hooked it up? Who found it?
Well, what it is, they put it in a whole nother compartment in my luggage that I didn't look in, so that ain't where I put it.
Right. But it was in your bag the whole time.
Yeah, it was in there the whole time.
You went to Twitter and you went nuts.
I went nuts because don't touch my shit.
I feel you.
They put a little card in there saying, we touch your shit. But don't touch it. There wasn't nothing in there to touch.
That's right.
Don't move shit either.
No, yeah.
You know, that's
you can't put it in a different compartment.
Hell no. Don't move my shit. Don't touch my shit.
Respect. So, by the way, I wanted to ask you, your son is like hardcore wrestling fan. Did he get that from you? Like, are you the one that got him into wrestling?
Nah. He got into it himself.
Are you a big wrestling fan?
I used to be.
Like what era?
I'm a Superfly Snooker and I guess Hulk Hogan was the man back then.
He was,
but
yeah. Now people don't like him so much.
Yeah, Superfly Snooker was my man. You know, that was my favorite wrestler. But then, yeah, you know, it was the Iron Sheik and all these.
So like you're talking like 80s.
Yeah, the glory 80s, you know, when it went from just being some obscure thing to, you know, nationwide.
So I'm around the same age, and when I was watching in the 90s, my dad would get mad at me. He'd be like, turn this crap off. You should go do something else. Go outside. Were you the same way when your son's up there watching?
Nah, man, I respect wrestling. You know, these are athletes, and the shit they do is mind-blowing, you know, as far as how acrobatic they are and how athletic, you know, they are. So I always respected the game, even though, you know, I know, you know, it's a storyline to it, but, you know, it ain't fake. You know, not you know, you can't fake the kind of shit they be doing sometimes.
So I see him at all the big events and whatnot. When you were coming up, like when you were with NWA, when you were in the 90s, did you used to go to the big fights in Vegas, the boxing and all that? Were you ever at any of those classic fights?
I went to a couple Tyson fights.
Oh, wow.
And then I said, I'm not going no more, man, because those fights would last 3 rounds and shit. You know, you get dressed, you know what I mean? You pack, you get to Vegas.
Yes.
You know, you check in, you ready for a fight, and the fight lasts 10 minutes. So I was like, man, I need to watch these on TV.
Not worth it.
Yeah. I'm a pay-per-view man.
I respect it. I know we're in New York right now. Are there any baseball fans here? I got to say, I went on a whole thing on my show back in October, and I know we're in New York, but I have to keep it real. There we are, Yankees-Dodgers. Game 1, Dodgers Stadium, and we have to keep it real. I know there's probably Yankee fans here, but we got to keep it real. All right, screw the Yankees. Screw that. I'm not a Yankee fan. I'm a Blue Jays fan. Shout out to the Blue Jays. Listen, this dude comes out from the outfield, and it's the greatest sporting event live performance that I've ever seen. I mean, you crushed it. It was if this was a boxing round, it's a 10-7. You know what I mean? It was a knockout and then another knockout. It was so freaking good. The timing, the way it was shot, the time of day, you freaking nailed that. Shout out. That was unbelievable. What you did, you know what I'm talking about, right? Game 1?
Yeah, it was great. It was actually game 2.
It was game 2. It was on the Saturday night. My bad.
I was supposed to do game 1, but Fernando Valenzuela died. And so they was like, can you do game 2? And I was like, yeah, you know, I'm thinking in my mind, shit, I hope they win, because when your team loses in the World Series or the finals, nobody's in the mood for no rapping and shit. You know, you like, let's get this game 2 going. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So by Freddie Freeman hitting that grand slam,
incredible.
It set me up to have a great performance, because nobody knew I was performing. It was game 2. The building was already electric.
It was amazing.
So we just put the cherry on top. But if the Dodgers would have lost that game, it might have been a different performance, you know?
Well, afterwards, everyone was like, all right, how's New York going to respond? And again, I have to keep it real. I love Joe, but like that was like the difference in the performance, the acoustics, the sound. Were you watching that being like, oh, this is the response? I'm good.
Well, I was watching because I wanted to see what the Dodgers was going to do.
But you have to have seen that.
He was in a tough situation.
Why is that?
Because you're performing and your team is down 0-2.
Yeah.
Don't nobody want to see you perform when you're down 0-2. They want to get the game going. Let's try to, you know, get a win so we 2-1. You know what I mean? So he had an uphill battle.
But you have to admit, the performances weren't quite the same.
Well, you know, I'm Ice Cube.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
And so I've been doing this this is 40 years now, since '85.
Unbelievable.
So I got a couple years on him, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of the Lakers, by the way, $10 billion. What do you make of that?
Man, I was about 10 billion short.
Yeah.
But hey, you know, when it gets to that level, I think you got to cash out, because there's only so many people that can buy your team after you reach 10 billion, the buyers start to shrink.
Yes.
And so when you find somebody that want to do that and you built it to that level, it's probably time to cash out, especially, if the Bus family didn't see nobody else who could run it, could keep it going. You don't want the family to lose some shit y'all built. You know what I mean? You want them to be able to run it. And if you look around and nobody can run it, it's time to slang it.
But not having the Bus family as the owners of the Lakers, that's weird, right? I mean, for as long as...
Very weird.
Right?
Yeah, because they were amazing owners. They was always able to land a great free agent. They was there. They brought Bob McAdoo to town.
Oh yeah, from Buffalo.
And I know people say Magic and Kareem. Yeah, but to keep it going, you got to bring in pieces. They bring in people like Bob McAdoo. They bring in people like Shaq. They bring in LeBron. Even trading for Kobe. They just made all the right moves at the right time.
Do you believe that the NBA... Are you a conspiracy theory guy?
A what?
A conspiracy theory guy.
Well, I don't really know what that is. I believe in... There's a lot of bullshit going on if you want to know. For
real. So a lot of people think that the NBA orchestrated the Doncic trade
yeah.
to put the evaluation higher.
I don't know about that.
That's crazy?
I would say more that they made sure that Dallas got the #1 pick. Like doing that, the evaluation thing and all that, it's like mad scientist stuff, But that fucking #1 pick was suspicious. It's done happen like 4 or 5 times in a row. Somebody lose their best player and then they get the #1 pick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who do you like, Pacers or Thunder in Game 7?
I want the Pacers to win. Yeah.
Why is that?
Because of Mike Epps. Mike Epps from Indiana. And he ain't never happy about shit in sports. So I want Mike Epps to have a good time and, feel how it feels to win the championship. The Lakers don't won so many.
I know.
We beat the Pacers, too. I remind them of that. So, I want Mike to have a good time, so I want them to win. For Mike.
By the way, I wanted to ask you, a few years ago, you were attached to a movie about Clarissa Shields.
Yeah.
Flint Strong, I think it was called?
Yeah.
Did it ever come out?
It came out, but the movie happened during the pandemic, right in the middle of it. So they were saying I would have to get the shot or jab to be able to come back into Canada. They were shooting it in Toronto.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm not getting that. So
you said F that.
I'm off the movie, you know what I mean?
Okay,
I'm like, find somebody else.
So you weren't going to be... So is it the one that just came out now? Just with a different name? Okay.
Yeah.
What's it called? All right.
It's a different title.
Got you. Hey, I wanted to ask you one last thing, and then we'll let you go. I was talking to my wife before, and I was like, what do you want to ask Ice Cube? What would you want to ask him? And I actually thought she had a great question. What made you part of what you were, like in terms of like your success early on, your motivation? You wanted to, you wanted to get out. You wanted to be, I heard you in an interview say, like, I wanted to be big in my neighborhood. But then you became big worldwide. Your kids are growing up in a totally different environment, right? Yeah. They're already big. They already made it. How do you instill in them the same kind of motivation that you had to be their own person, to be successful, to have that grind, to have that mentality, that Mamba mentality, so to speak? How do you do that? Because if they just look around, it's obvious that they're growing up in a different environment than yours.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy, but it's really about, do you want to make a mark in this world? How do you want to leave your legacy? How do you want people to remember you in this world? And you got to do big things to make a mark. You got to be noticed. You got to make sure that you're working at doing your best at all times, giving 110%, because you never know who's watching. You never know who's looking. Got to have that pride in yourself, and then good things will happen. It's not really about trying to go conquer the world. It's about conquering, what's holding you back in yourself.
I love it.
And then the world will notice when you do something great.
I love it. And you have done that in music, in film. By the way, a lot of people say Boys in the Hood. My favorite Cube movie, Higher Learning.
Oh, yeah.
I loved Higher Learning, man.
Thank you.
Remy, shout out to Remy, Michael Rappaport.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then, of course, now transitioning into the Big 3 and still doing the music. And you have a tour coming up.
Yeah.
You're doing a lot of big things. Everyone, make some noise. Show some love to the one and only, the often imitated, never duplicated, the inimitable Ice freaking Cube. Thank you, my man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. All the best to you. Yeah, good luck. There he is, everyone. Ice Cube in the house. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.